My name is Machelle Pearson. I was born in Los Angeles. My mom moved me here. I think that was in the early 70s. My mom was phenomenal. That was our protector, our provider. I mean, in every essence of the word, she was a mother. She trained us in the way of how to take care of ourselves from young ages up until she passed. She thought she was bruised and went to the doctor. They found a lump, found out that she had breast cancer. Unfortunately, she was in my arms when she passed. I was actually, I want to say 10 years old. I have a younger sister and brother with my mom and my stepdad. And the last thing my mom asked me to do was to promise her I'd take care of them. And that's what I did. You know, I was young, but I was big sister, but mother too. I grew up around relatives that were heroin addicts, alcoholics. Most of the men on my stepdad's side were pedophiles, for lack of a better way to put it. You know, I had to endure it because I was the lightest one out of all the kids, long hair. You know, I was the target. So I learned how to fend off pedophiles at a very young age. I ended up going to Arkansas to my other aunt, and I ended up being raped by an older cousin. And at the age of 12, I was given an STD, and I got beat because I reported. At 15, I met my first boyfriend, who later became my worst nightmare. And his brother, he told me, you have an option. You're gonna either go with us to commit this armed robbery, or we're gonna kill him. I told my mom I would protect them. And I chose to go with them. You know, they gave me the gun, and they said, first person we pick, you know, that's by themselves, you're gonna ask for a ride, this is what you tell her. Unfortunately, it happened to be my victim, Miss Faber, who I later found out was a special needs teacher. I did ask her for the ride. When I got in the car with her, I actually told her, there are two guys behind us, they're forcing me to rob you. All they want is your purse. They gave me this gun. And I remember pulling the gun out to give to her, and the gun went off and shot her in her neck. I remember her slumping over, and I'm sitting there looking at her like, what just happened? Because I never shot a gun. It was all on the news. I remember them saying that she was in critical. And I remember asking them, what is that? Is she gonna be okay? What is critical? I didn't, know. But when they sentenced me, my judge said, I have to sentence you to life without parole. He didn't want to give me the time, but he had to. But I didn't understand it. I stood there and I took it. I just remember him saying, please go in there, get an education, make something of yourself, and I hope to see you out here again. I just knew I was gonna be locked up again. I didn't know what it was. I had to go into survival mode. I didn't know how to be human in there. I existed. I was the number they gave me. I acted out until I was like 20, 21. I think that's when my time hit me, what I was doing. So I started utilizing the law library, the college classes. I started taking trades that they don't even offer now, and I guess I became somewhat of a mentor to the younger girls that started coming in. I can't say I understood what remorse was when I was younger. I understood I had done something wrong, terribly wrong. I didn't understand the meaning of remorse. I knew I was sad about it. I knew that I needed to make amends, if you will, or I'm gonna put it in the child's frame. I needed to make my bad behavior right. I knew this, but I didn't know how. And I actually talked to some of the older people there and realized they broke down what remorse was, what my time was. That's when everything sunk in. When I got older and realized what I had done and the ramifications of my behavior, whether chosen or forced, I knew I had to do something to show that I need to make amends, that I am remorseful. And I remember telling my judge, and even when I got resentenced, if I could just take my breath and give it back to Miss Faber to bring her back to her kids, I would do it without a hesitation, and I still stand on that. So that remorse lives with me even today. I always kept I'm gonna say faith that I would come home, but then there were times that I lost sight of that light and felt like I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm gonna die here, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. Leave me alone, staff and inmates, I don't care. And then I would get focused, so I was in and out of, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna win this battle, and then it was like, you got denied. You're gonna die in here, so that kept being drilled in my head, even by staff. You're gonna die in here, you got life. I came home August 28th of 2018. When they called me that morning, they was like, pack up. I'm like, I'm already packed, I'm ready to go. But all while I was sitting there, they was calling everybody but me, and I'm sitting in the visiting room, actually literally chewing my nails, and I'm like, they gonna make me go back in there. They not gonna let me go out. But when they called my name, I was like, can I go? And they was like, come on. And I was actually scared to go through the doors that slide. I was like, they gonna get me for escape. But when I seen my little brother, I took off running. I was like, it's real. Coming out as an adult, considering that I was a kid, when I came out, it was overwhelming. Coming out and then knowing that you have this number that's gonna follow you for the rest of your life, it's hard because I tried to get jobs at Dairy Queen, and because I have a felony, I couldn't even scoop ice cream. You basically can't get a job even dumping trash because you got a felony. When you go to get a housing, they look up your background. They reject you because you got a criminal background. So everywhere you go, coming out of a system, after 34 years of being locked up, you get doors slammed. I just came out of a relationship. I was with a guy for 3 years, put holes in my wall, sliced my tires, recently threatened to shoot me because I have a PPO, and I don't wish jail on nobody, but I stood up to him and he backed down. And I feel like that's what I'm out here to do, is to pull youth and even grown people out of abusive relationships. If they're in the streets, let them know where it led me, because I didn't have guidance. My work with the kids is basically me. I don't know how to file for grants. My sister that's in California sent me $100. I put 50 with it. Inner city kids, you wouldn't believe how many of them have never actually seen a horse. But I went and we got the city to cut the grass in a field that was over there. My neighbor across the street bought clothes from her store. When I was dealing with Michigan Liberation, Julia bought tons of clothes, shoes, toys. They donated bikes. And we set all this up in my front yard and had vendors. We let the kids ride the horse, feed the horse, take pictures with the horse. We barbecue for them. We laid the toys out in my yard all the way around and just let them take it. Clothes and all, we gave everything away. So that's like my way of letting them know that you got a big sister here that understands. I want an opportunity to sit in front of these lawmakers, me, little bitty me, and tell them the trauma it caused me being in there as a kid and coming out as a woman. They need a personal insight from some of us that were actually 15, 16, 17 going in there. We don't have a high recidivism rate. We don't go back. So if we can sit in front of you and we can get them doors open to go into the prisons and talk to them youth that's growing up in there and tell them, hey, it's like, that's what I want to do. Yeah, we made bad choices. We weren't born bad. We made bad choices and we were thrown into bad situations. But it's on you to correct it and give us what we need to correct it. That's what I want to add. And I really want to do that.